This spoiler thread about Claire, Matt, and Holden isn't just setting up an action moment. It's laying the groundwork for a full emotional reckoning, one that could redefine Holden Novak's entire place in Genoa City. What makes this storyline especially powerful is that it's not about a random heroic act. It's about redemption born directly out of guilt, fear, and unfinished emotional business. At the heart of it all is Holden's secret. The flashbacks made it brutally clear that while Audra stole money, Holden crossed a far darker line. He didn't intend to kill Richard, but intention doesn't erase consequence. Holden acted on instinct, on protection, on adrenaline, and in one irreversible second, a man's life ended. That moment froze Holden in time. Everything he's done since, his guarded demeanor, his loyalty to the wrong people, his hesitation with Claire, flows from that single act. What's crucial here is that the show deliberately framed Holden's past alongside Nick Newman's history with Ashlyn Locke. That comparison wasn't accidental. YNR is signaling that Holden exists in the same moral gray zone as the Newmans themselves. Nick wasn't branded a monster for defending Victoria, even though the result was fatal. Instead, he was framed as a man who acted out of love and paid the emotional price. Holden is being positioned the same way, but he hasn't yet had the chance to balance the scales. That's where Matt Clark enters the picture. Matt isn't just a threat. He's a mirror of Holden's worst fear. Matt represents everything Holden has been trying to escape: manipulation, violence, control, and the knowledge that one bad choice can destroy lives. Holden once worked for Matt. He likely relied on him. There's a strong implication that Matt may have helped clean up the Richard incident, which means Holden's freedom is built on borrowed time and someone else's silence. If Matt turns on the Newmans, and all signs suggest he will, Holden is caught in the middle. He can either stay silent and protect himself, or he can finally act and risk everything. Claire is the catalyst. Claire isn't just another potential victim in Matt's plan. She's emotionally central to Holden's internal conflict. With Kyle back in her orbit, Claire represents a crossroads. Kyle offers safety, legitimacy, and stability. Holden offers intensity, history, and unresolved feelings. If Holden does nothing while Claire is endangered, he confirms his worst fear about himself, that when it truly matters, he'll choose self-preservation over doing the right thing. But if he steps up, if he puts himself between Claire and Matt, everything changes. This is where the idea of life-saving redemption becomes powerful. Holden took a life by accident while trying to protect Audra. Saving Claire would be the emotional inversion of that moment. Instead of violence spiraling out of control, his actions would lead to survival. Instead of secrecy and guilt, there would be visibility and consequence. It wouldn't erase what he did, but it would finally give meaning to his remorse. Claire being targeted makes sense on multiple levels. She's a Newman, which already puts her in Matt's line of fire. She's emotionally connected to Noah, another pressure point. And she's vulnerable, not because she's weak, but because she doesn't yet see how dangerous Matt truly is. That kind of vulnerability is exactly what someone like Matt exploits. If Holden learns that Claire is in danger, and the spoiler strongly suggests he will, that knowledge becomes his point of no return. He knows Matt's tactics. He knows how far he'll go. And he knows that if Matt succeeds, the consequences won't just be physical harm. There'll be psychological devastation for the entire Newman family. Holden going up against Matt isn't just risky, it's potentially fatal. Matt doesn't forgive betrayal. If Holden interferes, he's not just risking exposure of the Richard incident, he's risking his life outright. That's why this act would matter so much. Redemption in soaps isn't about saying, "I'm sorry." It's about sacrifice. This is also where the love triangle reignites in a meaningful way. Kyle has history and trust with Claire, but Holden is raw emotion and unfinished business. If Holden saves Claire, he doesn't just prove his worth. He forces Claire to reevaluate everything she thought she'd resolved. Gratitude becomes complicated. Fear becomes intimacy. And suddenly, the man she was trying to move on from is the one who stood between her and real danger. At the same time, this doesn't diminish Kyle, it challenges him. Kyle has been protective, strategic, and loyal, but Holden's potential hero moment would be visceral,